The sun is so bright that I have trouble seeing. I've just gone outside and looked at this tree. There's this gnarled old tree at the bottom of the valley, and it's quite stunning. And I kind of, as a little girl, I used to make up stories about trees and flowers and sticks. And as an adult, I still do it. So in my mind, I create stories about this tree, and I'm going to do a story today, which I'll record and upload to hopefully help you sleep or feel calm. My name is Lauren. If this is your first time to my channel or podcast, please subscribe, please comment, please make requests, please like. You can find me on Sleep Meditation with Lauren Ostrowski-Fenton for my podcast, or my name, Lauren Ostrowski-Fenton, which will soon change because I'm getting married, and that's really exciting. I've gone out today and looked at the tree that I love to look at. It's early in the morning, and today there is somebody building their house. It must be about 2 kilometers away, but because there's not many houses around, the sound is really overt, obvious. And I think it's interesting. We live on 43 acres here. And it's interesting, when we came here, we thought, wow, this is so much land in Australia and the Barossa, it's just stunning. And with time, Adrian said a couple of times, oh, they've got 150 acres next door, or somebody has 600 acres because they're farmers. And I thought this momentarily as well. And it's interesting that we as humans, it is innate to us to compare and want more. They did research on choice, and they found that if somebody has choices, they're less happy with what they have. They did research into Russia, when Russia had less choice, and people would be happy with fewer choices in toothpaste or shampoo or whatever the product is. And in Western countries, we have incredible choice and more choice all the time. Yet research shows that choice brings confusion and choice brings dissatisfaction. Isn't that interesting? I was discussing this with Adrian and saying how lucky we are to be here. We're incredibly lucky. I have my bulletproof coffee. I'm on my 3rd day of the fast. I'm doing this with advice or listening to Dr. Eric Berg, B-E-R-G, so you can look him up. Please don't ever fast without seeing a doctor first. I enjoy fasting because it clarifies my mind. It reduces clutter, emotional clutter. It helps me take my focus away from preparing the next. I'm still feeding Adrian, of course. He was a little bit horrified that I'd stop feeding him, but no, I'm feeding Adrian, and I'm doing this for 5 days in order to get to know myself a little bit more, to be able to sit in solace and as a tool in meditation. Coming back to choice and the neighbours. So the neighbours now, which they're probably a 7-minute drive away, they're building their house, and this must be a dream for them. They must be so excited about building this house. But we, Adrian and I, struggle with mild annoyance because we think, but the sound of the truck is disturbing my sanctity. And it was only 3 months ago that the neighbours were 3 meters away. And now the neighbours are 6 minutes drive away. And I think to myself, remember, Lauren, what you have. Remember that you're alive. I'm aging, but I'm so lucky to be alive. So my aging is testament to my good fortune. I love my morning bulletproof coffee. I wanted to share with you a technique I use to work with anxiety. If I'm feeling those sticky feelings, those sticky feelings that Pema Chodron talks about, those human egoic feelings of frustration, jealousy, those animal feelings, I sit quietly and I notice the cadence of my mind. Then I willfully choose to let go of debris. Do I need to think this? Does this thought support who I am? Or is this thought frivolous, unnecessary, possibly unkind? Where does this thought take me? Does this thought add to my wisdom and development? So I prune my mind. And then I look at my arms and I say, I have 2 arms, I have 2 hands. Each hand has 5 fingers on the right hand, 5 fingers on the left hand. I am grateful for my hands. I have 2 legs. I am grateful for my legs. What does the surface feel like underneath my feet? I'm grateful for the surface underneath my feet. What does my throat feel like? What do my shoulders feel like? What does my spine feel like? I'm grateful for my spine. Then I'll inhale the air and I'll notice my breathing. Notice the pattern of breathing as you would notice a fine harmony or a beautiful garden. Notice the patterns of your breathing without attachment, rather than saying, I'm breathing too fast or not breathing deeply enough. It doesn't matter. The pattern of your breathing is like a beautiful piece of artwork, and you notice it. Or I may go outside and I'll notice a plant or a tree, and I notice the texture of the bark. I notice the details in the leaf, and I concentrate and focus. This requires discipline. The discipline to focus and concentrate takes me away from the noise of day-to-day life. Takes me away from the aptitude or the possibility I'm going to look at the neighbours and say, oh my goodness, they've got a bobcat or a truck and it's making noise. I simply look at the sunshine. I see the clouds. I notice the shades of blue in the sky and the shifting of the clouds and how the clouds almost, the opacity bleeds into the sky and the sky bleeds into the opacity of the clouds. I notice any aromas. I notice here I have my friend. I'd like to name my friend here. Oh, you can't quite see that flame, can you? I'd like to name her something. I don't know if it's a she. I know this is a symbol of a Buddha, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a Tibetan statue. What would I like to name her? I enjoy her flame. Then I notice my body again, my breath, and I consider my beating heart. I think about the flow of blood through my body and how lucky I am to have blood flowing through my body. I consider my life a story, and each chapter holds surprises, and my role in life is to consider the surprises and roll with the surprises. As I read each chapter of my life, part of that chapter is the process of change. There may be grief, there may be anxiety, there may be trauma. And my role is to roll with the journey of my narrative. I can put into the chapters of my life, I can edit them, but the bones of each chapter are beyond my control. I can fall in love, but it doesn't mean that someone will love me back. I can put effort into my children and their development, but it doesn't mean that they will necessarily notice. Your chapters, your narrative, the volumes of your story are all different. We can have some limited control, but there is a limit to our control. That is beautiful. We meet people for a chapter in our lives, never the whole story. If we're lucky, there will be a chapter where this person leaves us. The reason I say if we're lucky is that means we'll outlive that person and have more moments and more breaths and more heartbeats. I think about the gnarled tree, which I'll talk about today in my meditation, if I can, with the old truck there. And as the tree grows, in some ways, you could say it becomes more ugly. The knots in the trunk, the textures in the trunk, the way the branches reach out could be perceived as ugly, or it could be perceived as incredibly beautiful. And that we can bear witness to the growth of the tree, and we are lucky enough to be able to appreciate and enjoy that tree. Are there any trees in your life that you appreciate? Perhaps there's beauty, perhaps there is what we may call ugliness. There is no fairy tale. There is no happy ending. There is simply the enjoyment of each chapter. So instead of going to the supermarket of our life and standing at the aisle and thinking, which toothpaste will I buy? We are so lucky to be able to select toothpaste. To reduce frustration, reduce choice. To reduce dissatisfaction, focus on one element of your life at a time. When we feel anxious, notice your body, notice your sight, slowly, deliberately. Notice what you hear, what do you taste the air, what does air taste like? Focus. Notice your pattern of breathing and notice, explore the cadence of your mind. Explore the cadence of your mind. There is so much to be learned. Anytime the cadence of your mind is rapid is a time we need to pause. We may be in fight or flight, we may be in danger, so for a short period of time, having a fast cadence is okay. After that time, it is important that we step back and assess. The cadence of my mind was rapid for those moments, that period of my life. I can now reflect on that. I can see that, I can learn from it, and I can be in this incredible moment. There is something about the sunshine. I hope you're okay. Thank you for subscribing, liking, writing to me. I record the stories soon. or providing for the truck driver. They've taken a break now. I might show you where they are so that you can laugh at my folly. I'm laughing at my folly myself. They're so far away. Take care. Okay, I'm going to show you. Excuse my damaged camera. It looks like there's a filter on, but it's not. It's just the damage to my camera on my phone. Now, this is the sound there. They're building a house. And this is where I live. Look at this. I must get a new camera. Never mind. Can you hear the beep? That's so funny.